spoke of love before. And it's funny. After some time passes and the smoke clears from around the ashes of burnt tempers and broken egos, perspectives change. And in the still of the silence, after the text messages stopped coming through, and the arguments we once would die over defending our points, dull to amount of pencil dust we used to right our wrongs. Every answer that I searched for upon shooting stars, or found myself highlighting in between the pages that stacked between self-help and relationship books, became more and more clear, and I realized I couldn't make him love me, which was all I wanted. My chance at the fairy tale ending. But it seemed like no matter how many times I kissed the frog, I was still caught in the same love story that most women know of. Waiting for my prince to come when the jester is the one that showed up, not even fit to entertain a peasant, yet I wanted him to call me queen. So I traded in my crown for his games, because loneliness had a way of making me feel it was okay to settle for a pedestal instead of a throne. I wanted him to hold me high. Hand him my bags in hopes he would take them. Make room in his closet and promise to keep me. And I don't think he ever intended to deceive me, but our plans weren't the same. He was mine, baby, let's build a future together. And I was his, hold up, let me see how I feel at the end of today. And at that moment it was okay, because I thought I could change him. Break him down and rearrange him, claiming I was going to teach him how to love, when really I was the one that needed to learn how to set standards higher than my self-esteem I could so easily walk over, chasing after a love I never had within myself. And I didn't want this to be cliche, but people say it for a reason. I was making him the answer to my problems, not even realizing that that was always my problem. I had been here before, and before, and before. But this time was supposed to be different. Because this time I wanted him more than I wanted to breathe. And I can still remember that November like I do my poems. The details rest in the bags underneath my eyes like broken levees. The day he left me, I was always broken. But the flood of emotion gave me more reason to pay attention to how deep my scars went. That I never took time to mend. Just patched previous punctures and impending pretended to be fine. Still damaged from past times, so I made suppression my pastime. Figured if I could cover my insecurities enough, I didn't need to get past mine. And in the past, I have dealt with similar situations with love, finding every reason to excuse who I was and place the blame on him. But someone once told me that if you continue to have the same problems with different people, the problem isn't them. And I didn't write this to defend him or excuse his ill-mannered intentions. I'm not saying he did right. I'm saying I could have done better. He loved me fully because I let him. And maybe I needed to love him as strong as I did for God to open up my heart and rip me apart like he did, and show me that the only true healing is through him and not him. I had to be broken to be built again, this time reconstructed as his likeness. And at first I didn't like the sacrifices, but found favor in the freedom that he provided me. Resurrected the woman that died in me way before I even knew I was dead, and finally gave me the strength to pass this home through pen, because the story has become far too repetitive to my ears. I've had to hear too many of my sisters cry my tears and share the same fears that I feared of being alone. Because we as women yearn for these fairy tale endings we're force-fed as children, yet forget to face the villains that we need to defeat before the picket fences and happy endings. So busy pretending that we are well put together that we forget the reflection we have become so accustomed to is merely a masqueraded makeup we've made up to make up for all the areas that we lack. So I had to turn my Mac in for a Bible, learn within those pages no human will ever love me the way that God will. Bent at my knees in prayer to prove my love, and this time I don't have to worry if the favor is returned. My healing was in his word. I have never been so whole, knowing that he will never forsake me. No matter how much baggage I carry, he will always take me. Southwest fly free, so here I am, finally able to say I'm thankful